Multiple award-winning Hollywood actress Nathalie Portman continues her relentless push for gender equality with a visit to the ongoing United Nations General Assembly in New York. The tall actress, who was a guest at the STG Media Zone, a sideline event for the General Assembly, she emphasized again that women, regardless of profession, endure the same discrimination at varying degrees.
Right. I mean, you were very much behind Time's Up. So what is so important for Hollywood, women in the industry? Why is it so important for you to raise your voices? Because I think it goes beyond demanding that this cannot happen in the film business. It should go well beyond that.
Well, it was incredible in Time's Up because we gathered with women in other industries as well. We gathered with farm workers and healthcare workers and women in journalism, women in tech, and we were all facing the same sorts of challenges, obviously in different locations or different flavors, but really the same threat. And I remember the head of the Farm Workers Union, Monica Ramirez, said to me, "They tell us to shut up because we're in the shadows and nobody cares about us, and they tell you actresses to shut up because nobody cares, you're in the light, and she's like, but the common thread is that they're telling all of us to shut up and they're trying to silence all our voices." And I think that was really the power of Tarana Burke's Me Too movement, was that it was breaking out of that silence and it was empowering women to make their voices heard and not feel shame around these experiences and recognize that these were extreme injustices and that perpetrators needed to be held to account.
Yeah, and many of them have. You think that has changed things?
I think that people are very aware of it now, and that there isn't a sense that you can just abuse as you wish without facing any consequences. So, and I think that people talk about it a lot more and are a lot more open about it. We still have a far way to go, of course, but I think the Tarana Burke's movement really, really cracked open a door that is not going to shut anymore.
Yeah, and indeed it was reported all over the world. It wasn't just a U.S. thing. I think it provided women with the sense of hope and empowerment. But you've been involved also in countries that are less rich and less privileged. Is it different for girls in countries that are developing?
Yeah, I think unfortunately women and girls around the world can relate to each other with facing violence and the threat of violence. I think that unfortunately that's present everywhere. But of course there's different manifestations of it in different places. Some girls are, threatened with violence for going to school, which of course in the United States we don't experience. But in the United States, the number one cause of death for pregnant women is being murdered by their intimate partner. So you see that in different places. Of course, in Iran we're seeing women who are being murdered for exposing their hair. So really the thread is that women and girls are being murdered and threatened and abused because of anything. It almost feels arbitrary, the reasons that they choose to commit these acts of violence.